Good morning, everybody. It's time for July weather briefing on ePort. My name is Vesa Nietosvaara, and my colleague Christina will also present in this briefing. Actually, Christina is with us here at EUMeTrain only for a couple of more weeks, and then she returns to Lithuanian Weather Service. And in the picture you see the Christina yesterday evening on our farewell party. She got a new t-shirt now. Christina, I will start with some ESSL presentation, then we just move on after that to the usual weather briefing. And I hope this time we also have some chance to do some analysis together, so be prepared to be awake. Christina, I give you now the microphone and you can start.
Thank you, Vesa, and thank you for a nice picture of me from yesterday. So, as Vesa already said, I'm in EUMeTrain and I'm a graduate trainee at the moment. And I don't know how many of you have heard about ESSL testbed, or maybe some of you have participated or you will be participating. And I participated in this ESSL testbed last week, and we decided that I will just simply show you some slides and tell you what is it and how it's done and why it is done. So to start with, European Severe Storms Laboratory, which stands for ESSL, its mission is to make Europe more resilient to severe weather, and they carry out research on extreme weather and support the research community by operating European Severe Weather Database, which I will show you a bit later. And also they are co-organizing the European Conference on Severe Storms. And ESSL testbed is also one of activities they do. Actually, this year it was the second ESSL testbed. The first time it was done in 2012, as you can see here. And actually now it's even ongoing this week, and as you see, it will last till 26th of July. So to go forward, here you can see web page of this testbed, and all of you can follow this blog where one of people, he's doing this blog every day, and he's updating information, and he's telling what issues we had when we were forecasting, what problems we faced and how it was going on, and so on. Also, you can read a preliminary summary, testbed concept, and some presentations about testbed, just if you are interested. So this is, here you can see daily program of our testbed, and it's from Tuesday to Friday. As usually Monday, it's a Thursday when we start this testbed, and usually it's a bit different because we are getting to know to each other, getting to know to what we're gonna do all week long, and so on. And then on Tuesday, it starts like that. So as you can see, we start our day in testbed with verification. This means that we are looking at a forecast which were made yesterday, and we are checking and trying to find out, was it okay, was it good, did we succeed in forecasting severe weather or didn't we? Then after this, we proceed with forecast operations. So usually all the participants are divided into two groups. So one group is doing day one forecast. So this means for, let's say, for today. And the other group is doing a forecast for day second. So it means for tomorrow. Then after this, usually it comes daily briefing, and sometimes it's done by participants, sometimes by someone from ESSL. And this daily briefing is also followed by a lecture of the day. And while I was participating in testbed, we had like 5 lectures, and it was mainly about products we are using, tools we are using to forecast, and it was actually really useful to get something more about these products which you use every day while you are in testbed. Then also very important thing, it's lunch break and with huge portions of schnitzels. And so after lunch break, we are having forecast tool performance evaluation. So we are just discussing everybody together which tools were useful, which we found useful, how it can be updated, and just like saying all questions maybe we have and so on. After this, again, comes forecast operations. And so, again, as I mentioned, there are two groups. And so the group who in the morning did day 2 forecast, it proceeds with day 3 and 5 forecasts. And a group 1 who was doing day 1 forecast, it proceeds with nowcasting. And after this, you see day ends. And so next day again starts with verification. Now just to show you some data interface and tools which we were using in testbed. So as you can see here, we had nowcast display, numerical weather prediction models, Cosmo DE pairs, tools, surface maps, and in this tab we had access to blog, European severe weather database, and verification. And here you can see simple high resolution visible image, and you can see also that we had these satellite products, different overlays, and actually I can show you some overlays. So here you can see the same high resolution visible satellite image overlaid with ECMWF CAPE, and you can see CAPE values. So we were using products like that every day, and also some other images. Here it's satellite images overlaid with lightning data from Weisela. So this one I think was quite useful for nowcasting, so we could see where storms are already going on and how they are moving. And this is how we were doing our verification. So here you can see the verification for day 1 forecast. So these lines plotted here in yellow color or orange color, it was done by us, I mean by a group who was doing a forecast. And then the next day we were checking it with data from European Severe Weather Database. And these purple dots means that there were lightning detected. And also these blue things stands for wind, and here you can see a green triangle, which means hail. So for example, in this case, I think we quite succeeded in forecasting severe weather. And also very similar verification, for example, for day 3 was done. So, and again you can see that these lines were drawn by, let's say, forecasters, and inside you can see what was actually observed, what severe weather, and what came in database. So, and also one more verification for nowcast forecast, and yeah, I'm showing this because I think it's really nice. It was quite nicely done, the forecast, and you can see that all the areas which were plotted, there was some severe weather going on. So when I was mentioning European Severe Weather Database, and this is how it looks like. So it's simply for Europe, and it is actually, let's say, filled by people who are volunteers, who are just, well, for example, you see that there is some hail in your country, you just put a report here and it comes, and you can see then a report here in these maps. So we were using this database to verify our forecasts. And here you can see only some triangles and circles, and which means like, is it tornado or hail or wind gusts or heavy rainfall. And just below that image you also have a table of selected reports, and also you can see that as I said, it's for heavy rain, damaging lightning, and severe wind. And also in these comment tabs, you can see some links. You can check. Sometimes it's either links to some videos, so you can always see what had actually happened. And this one, what I was actually surprised, and if I succeeded, at least in my opinion, so this one is where we failed, because northeastern Germany, maybe it's not so clear for you, but here is a red triangle, which actually stands for tornado. And so actually tornado was reported, and it was reported on the 3rd of July, and we didn't forecast that. So everyone make mistakes, and this was our mistake. But as you see, I think it's really nice tool, this database, just to check how good was your forecast. And to finish, I would just like to show some slides. If you have any questions concerning this testbed, you can always contact them using this email address, or you can even use personal emails of Peter Gronemeyer or Alois Holzer, and they promise that they will be happy to answer any questions you have.
Thank you, Christina. Any questions about ESSL testbed to Christina? You can also send your comments through the text chat if you would like to join in. There's next year, I think they will, of course, try to run it again. Christina, I assume this testbed is ongoing still at the moment.
Yes, and actually in 1 minute they will have online session again, so that's why they couldn't join us here today.
Thanks. So back to the live data, but I will still somehow make a smooth move out of testbed just by showing the current weather using their display. So it's just a screen capture. I got the permission from them to just show you a couple of screen captures how the weather looks like today. Well, I think this part, I just try to put my laser pointer, so they have the satellite products, a lot of satellite products available. Then we have the surface observations. You see now the surface observations are on. So let's see what's the weather like. The warmest weather air mass is at the moment in the southeastern part of Europe. Already in the morning there were temperatures over 20, 24, whereas on the west the temperatures were a bit lower under this low cloud. Here is this cloud system that we will talk more about today. Also in the very southwest, completely clear skies, nice low clouds west of Portugal. And yeah, mostly it's rather fine weather. It's the only probable problem point for today is in this part of Europe. As a quick look, if we zoom in, the synops and the latest surface observations, you see a little bit better what is the situation at the moment. It's gonna be very warm day here in the southeast, and probably unstable also here. We will talk about that a bit more in a moment. One final overlay from ESSL interface. You can see here this is 0730 UTC, so it's about 45 minutes ago the current lightnings over Europe. Do we have any participants from this area today here? We have, I think we have a few participants. Raise your hand if you are from Poland or Slovakia. Mateusz at least is from, and I see also Piotr, yeah. And also Iwona. So we have a nice Polish participation. If you like, Mateus, Piotr or Ivona, if you like to comment something about this, please feel free. You just need to raise your hand if you like to comment if you are actually under these clouds at the moment. I think this part of the Poland is Krakow, if I'm correct. Let's have a look on the actual animations. This might take a while, so let's wait for until everybody sees the animation. Christina sees it already. Jose, so I think it's loading on every participant side at the moment. So this is a high-resolution visible image, and when we look at the map, at least for me, the first thing that catches my eye is this cloud spiral north of Poland, and movement of these convective cells from southwest to northeast. I might like to use the arrow also here. So this is the active area. In the other parts of Europe we have, well, there's some low clouds over the North Sea. And also you can see that UK is partly covered, the eastern parts of the UK are still covered with the low clouds. But the western part of the UK is already getting clear, rather sunny. If I would just draw a line, I would say that there's maybe a kind of a continuation of this unstable weather around here. Just by looking at what we have at the moment in the northern parts of Spain, there are also some convective cells already developing. Looking at the STOFX analysis and forecast for today, you can confirm the same feature that we see on the satellite image. So there's a line of more intensive weather today from northern parts of Spain across Italy, the Balkan countries, and then over to Slovakia, southeastern parts of Poland and western parts of Ukraine, Belarus, even Lithuania. I try to take you to the actual STOFX website. I hope it doesn't crash your system, so that you can click on the stormfall that you see. Click that link and it will show you the same picture, but also the explanation and the synopsis of the picture. Are you everybody able to see the synopsis? There are a few keywords that we need to work on today, and that's one is the high across the British Isles. This is one big feature that we will see next, and then there is a cutoff low that is centered over Poland, and that's maybe the main feature on the map today. The whole analysis and discussion is rather longish, but what is most important for our region is the system on the eastern part of Slovakia and the western part of Ukraine, where they expect intense precipitation and also large hail, possibly. Meteor-alarm Meteor-alarm, the warnings, European warnings, they show the similar structure here. The warnings are mostly caused by the convection, these yellow warnings here, and there's also one orange warning in the eastern parts of Hungary. The actual Meteor-alarm website, hopefully again not crashing your systems, should load, but it might take a while. And it might take a while, but anyway, you see that there are the warnings you can see yourself. The warnings for example, the Hungary are because of the lightning and convection. Fine. I was expecting also some non-European participants to take part in this, so I prepared a couple of slides outside of Europe, but I think we can skip them this time. We don't have them with us. So the biggest question for today is, will it be hot in the UK still? This was at least, according to the BBC, the most important weather news today. So I think the UK has had pretty nice days recently. Robert confirms this. And this high has, we will see, of course, in the end of this presentation, just what will happen to the high. But currently, if we look at the upper level fields in Europe, here you see this 300 hectopascal height plus the water vapor image, and you see again that you see nice collocation of dark water vapor ice or vortices in association with the upper level lows. This one here, we would call this a cutoff low. As you see, it's almost cut off from the main. It's kind of a lonely vortex over Poland, moving towards southeast, and also causing quite a lot of weather and being part of the contributors for this intense weather east side of it. You see also some other little small K vortices here and there. One big one is here, one big one is here on the west part of west of Italy, but the one here is the most remarkable one over Poland. If we look at how it was moving in the last 24 hours, this is yesterday afternoon, so you see that it's already there. Yesterday evening it was slowly moving towards south. Last night it was just north of Poland. At the moment it's still moving slowly south, and it's really detached from the main westerly flow. There was something that was somehow I couldn't explain. I was making an overlay of 300 hectopascal. This is a little bit of zoom up onto the Poland case. So you see that the upper level low is now here, and we see the nice vortex. And we see the ice attacks, but then we have these streamlines here. I had some difficulties in explaining why do the streamlines behave like this, that they go across the upper level low. Does anybody have any explanation to this? I'd be happy if there's some dynamically aware person who can explain. Is this anything to, let's say, to consider or not? I don't normally use streamlines too much, but it was interesting to see that they are going across the upper level low. No comments so far, so let's move on. Enhanced infrared. So we see this is the final big scale image of that you will see. We will not too much talk about the things that are happening here in the Atlantic. They are still pretty far. Let's just concentrate on this one. So let's make a little exercise together. I try not to put you into sleep. So we have three images. Now this is a zoom up, and you need to all think about if you would be making, let's make a short survey. Who of you is now on forecasting shift at work? Raise your hand. Mateus is at shift, so Mateus has been looking at the weather. Jose as well. Anybody else? Are we only Mateus and Jose who are working on the shift? Fine, so Mateus can review the results of the group work here, but I would like to invite you to choose the tool on top of the menu. You see a little draw tool. It looks like a pencil. And those of you who are the brave ones can try to make a frontal analysis, a traditional frontal analysis on this map. Just draw where the cold fronts are and where are the warm fronts. If you can even draw the warm front in red and cold front in blue, even better, but you can just, yeah, that's fine. I already see one suggestion. What does the group think? Is this correct or not? Excellent. And if you want to correct your stuff there, on the last button on the right hand side, you can erase, or you can use the eraser. Beautiful. So, we can take our time, no hurry. And I will just swap between three images. This image here will stay, so don't worry. Your drawings will be saved. This is now the maybe some people are wondering what are the parameters we see here. So the blue one is the thermal front parameter. It should indicate the location of a front. It doesn't say which type of a front it is, but it just depicts a front. The green lines are the thickness lines, so higher values indicate warm air mass. The other one, sorry, I just move on, but we will return back to your drawings soon. This one here, just the same image, but now you see there is the theta E, equivalent potential temperature of 850 hectopascal. Again, the fronts you should find where you have more convergence of these isolines. So again, I think the ones I saw, somebody was drawing the line right here, seems to be a nice location for the front. And the third overlay is just the 500 hectopascal map. You see again the cutoff flow nicely there over the Poland, and we see the cold air all over the cutoff flow. The cold air is shown with this red isoline here. This is the temperature isoline. So let's return back to the drawing. Do you still want to modify before if Mateus wants to make a comment, you can use the microphone, or you can just type into the text chat box as you wish, if there is some discrepancy compared to your own analysis. Thank you. So, Mateus, do you wish to speak, or do you wish to type in the text chat box if you agree with the current analysis on the map? I guess so. So that's your drawing. We cannot we cannot criticize. You're the local expert. Let's say I take one competing analysis. What do you think about this? This is 0-0. We could try to zoom up a little bit, but I think I can't zoom up. But you see the same feature here. The cold front that wasn't easy. The cold front is rather easy. Then we have this occlusion circling around, and then we have kind of air mass boundary also here with the more warmest air. This is the DWD analysis. Somehow I think they match pretty well. So for the cutoff flows, Robert was asking about what's specific in these cutoff flows. Would people like to write in the text chat box, when you see a cutoff flow like this, what kind of weather do you expect? I give you 1 minute to give an answer to Robert, just by typing in the text chat box. What kind of weather do you expect when you have a cutoff flow like this over us? Thanks, Ivona. So cold upper low means showers and thunderstorms. So that means you have generally unstable air. Also cool, some rain showers. I think we experienced this a little bit cooling down temperature yesterday here in Darmstadt, somewhere here, yesterday evening when this cold front came over. The night and evening was cooler than before. So there was some change also in this part of Europe because of this upper cutoff low. Let's see what happens with the cutoff low after checking today's weather. We'll still have a time to look on the weekend weather. Thanks, Andreas and Ivona and Mateusz. Today's weather, otherwise, just a couple of images of the instability and this warm air mass ahead of the front here. You see rather high Cape values in front, so basically it's rather unstable throughout. And one satellite product that I often use to just check on the actual instability is the GII product, where we have green or yellowish tones, we have more instability around. So these, of course, this works only in cloud-free situations. Below the cloud, you can't see this information, but it's a good indicator of a pre-convective environment. And it seems that this instability is extending throughout quite north to the Belarus, and especially in the western parts of Romania, eastern parts of Hungary, and western parts of Ukraine. And also you see the whole area here in the south is unstable, has a lot of Cape, and has also some forcing. So there will be at least thunderstorms expected in this area. Good. I think we are more or less finished with the current weather. Are there some, if we go back to the big map, we can still have time for checking if there are some features that you would like to talk about. Just point them on the map or raise your hand. We just concentrated on the eastern part of Europe today. There was not so much interesting things happening in the western part. If not, then we can have a look on what the ECMWF says about coming weekend. This should be the situation today afternoon. So you see still the nice, this spiral here. Anticyclone over the UK, also some kind of anticyclonic ridge here over the Scandinavia. But tomorrow afternoon, some small changes start to happen, at least here in the north. There is this approaching low. The anticyclone here over the British Isles is weakening. Maybe its center is moving a little bit to the west. Still very unstable on over the Poland and to the south, Romania. So basically the pattern is still the same tomorrow. Saturday night and Saturday afternoon, still this upper level low will keep the weather unstable in this area. Pretty much precipitation over here expected. And in Scandinavia, the nice high pressure is finally giving away, and the weather will be turning more cyclonic. And you see that the high pressure is rather strong, but it's west of the British Isles, so expected to have still rather okayish weather in the British Isles, but the high pressure is already a little bit away. And then by Sunday, the deterministic forecast suggests still very, very slow movement of this upper level low. Still a lot of precipitation here. I didn't check the accumulated precipitation amounts, but if the Polish colleagues did have a look on that, please just let me know if you have any, if there could be, let's say, probabilities for local flooding because of this system. It seems to me that it's very slowly moving, keeps on giving a lot of precipitation at some places. And here on the north, it looks not so convenient. And still, the high pressure still keeps it here on the west of the British Isles, and mostly nice weather in the western parts of Europe. So that's how it looks like, and if we would like to go take a look on the monthly forecast, somehow I'm interested about the weather for the next month because I will be on holidays, and you see that there's the temperature anomalies for this week look like it's warmer than usual in the western parts of Europe, cooler than usual in the northern parts and in the southern parts of Europe. But when we move to the week after, so this is now for the next week, from 15th July, we see that there's still quite strong signal of cooler than usual temperatures here in the north, some signal of a bit warmer than usual in the west. But otherwise, no clear anomalies in this part of Europe. And the further away we go to the week thereafter, the signals get only weaker, and I wouldn't make too much assumptions of the coming weeks. But basically, the week 1 and week 2 give some kind of a signal of this type of temperature distribution over Europe. That was it. Any comments, questions, and before we close the session and take you to the registration page of the next session? If not, then I just give you the chance again to already sign up for the August session, 8th of August, 09 UTC. It will be Lily Hofer from Austria giving the next briefing. I keep this here for 1 minute, so you can sign up if you happen to be online on that day. You are welcome to join. I'm happy that we see already 16 people joining in. I know that July, August are always months when we have many people are on vacations or unavailable, but I'm happy that we had 16 participants today. Christina, would you like to still add some comments here in the end?
I'd just like to thank you everybody for listening to this weather briefing and to say goodbye. Thank you.
Thank you, and we'll send you the link to the playback right after this event. See you next time.